Fear is a real thing and it holds us back. We have so many dreams that we want to accomplish. We have so many things that we want to change or accomplish, or we live this one life, but the fear gets in our way. And the simple fact is, looping back, Romer, to what we were talking about, there's never gonna be a convenient time. There's never gonna be a perfect time. There ain't gonna be a full moon, the stars aligned. There's always gonna be something messed up or something troubling going on in your life in order for you to do what you know you need to do.
Yep.
So I mean,
you gotta get in the habit of just, like, it's better to be impulsive and spontaneous than it is to be super planned out and never ever pull the trigger. Opt for the former rather than the latter, because if you are one of those people that plans, if that's your personality, you're likely gonna be the type of person to not take action immediately. Take action, action, it's the fastest way to learn.
And speaking of action, a lot of you folks might be watching us. If you follow Romer on Instagram, he's psycho. Every morning when he was living in Tennessee at his place, sometimes it would get down to what, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And he had like a horse trough outside. He would fill it up with water and it would freeze. And on his Instagram story, he would kick the ice in and he would sit in this ice bath for 5, 6, 10 minutes. And we've been doing ice baths and cold showers for, well, you've been doing it for years. I've been doing it pretty, well, on and off. I've been doing cold showers on a regular basis.
Pretty soon, though.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, though. Tell them about the place we're moving into.
Yeah, we're moving into a place that has a cold plunge that gets down to 50. But the point I was gonna make, going in an ice bath trains you to make a decision. Like, you're faced with something you do not want to do.
Ever.
Your psychology, your physiology, nothing.
It's never a good, you never feel like getting in. Never. It's never a good time. Like, oh, I want to get an ice bath this morning. That day will never
So why do you do
come.
ice baths then if you never want to do it?
I do it for a couple reasons. I do it for the physical benefits, but mainly the reason why I do it, because I'm in pretty good shape. My body don't really have anything wrong with it. I do it for the mental toughness, to do something that makes me uncomfortable for 10 minutes and it never becomes comfortable. Never.
Yeah.
Ever.
And
it's making that decision. And recently what I did was I would plan to get in the ice bath. I would wake up in the morning, I would lay in bed for 30 minutes, and that would waste a lot of time because I was dreading getting in the ice. So
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I made an Instagram post recently where I was like, everybody who likes this, screenshots this, and reposts it on their story and @s me, if I am not in the ice bath by 7:03 tomorrow morning, I will Venmo you $100.
Did you pay anyone? Or no, that was
I set my alarm for 6:59 and I was laying in bed nervous, so I set it for 6:57 and I screenshotted that and said, everybody, I'm cheating, I'm setting it 2 minutes early, I do not want to pay anyone. I got up and got in the ice so fast, dude. Yeah. But making that decision, like me and you were talking about different forms of leverage, you can, like, to make yourself do stuff, if you know you're the type of person where you say you're gonna do something, you don't do it, you can use social media as leverage. That's something me and him have been playing with, and we have audiences, but all you guys have audiences, even if it's only 100 people.
Yeah.
So go post it, don't take it down, say you're gonna do something, and if you don't do it, you're a fraud to everybody that just saw it, even if it's only one person.
Right.
You know?
So you gotta figure out what that is that you wanna go for that's been scaring you, that, you know, what's that dream? What's that business that you've wanted to start? What's that health goal? What's that relationship goal? What's that skill or that talent or something new that you've wanted to try, but it's been holding you back? There's never going to be a perfect time. So there's things that you can do to almost guarantee that you start taking action towards it. Like we talked about leverage, putting leverage on yourself too, just pulling the trigger, going for it.
Because it's tough. Yeah. Like, it's not easy. And like me and you, it looks like we pull the trigger a lot, like making videos. That's like second nature to you now. It's probably not super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that like you and me still do. We've talked about this behind the scenes where it's just like, it's incredibly uncomfortable to take that first step. And that's when I have empathy for people that, you know, they've been talking about making a business, like that girl, they've been talking about making a business for 10 years or 10 months, whatever it is. Some people it's 10 years and they just have never done it. I have empathy for them because sometimes I'm at the mall and there's an attractive girl and I'm like, I should go talk to her, I should go talk to her, oh, next one. And then the next one comes along, I'm like, I should go talk to her, oh, next one. Then that's when I'm like, okay, now I know what some people are going through because here's a context where I'm not taking action.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's why what Tony Robbins says, I believe, is true. Success comes down to 80% psychology and only 20% strategy. It's less important what you're doing, but it's more or less how you're doing it and the mindset you have, because your mindset and your brain controls everything in your life. If you're deciding not to take action on your dreams, that has a lot to do with your fears and your mindset, and you're probably thinking a lot about the negatives and the risks instead of the upside. It's good to consider pain, right? And a lot of people are actually more driven in life to avoid pain, but you gotta think of the upside as well. You gotta think of the pleasures. But one of the things that holds a lot of people back is they're scared to suck, right? Is there any area of your life that you want to improve upon? Maybe your health, maybe you're 50 to 100 pounds overweight, maybe your business, maybe your finances, maybe you're 100,000 in debt, or you're broke as a joke and you're so freaking broke that you're just ashamed of yourself and you're like, you know what? I can't even start my eBay business because I'm so broke that I'm embarrassed, or you're embarrassed to go to the gym because you're so overweight and you're scared of what people are gonna think, or maybe you wanna learn how to salsa dance like myself, but you never start because you think to yourself, I'm so bad that everyone's gonna realize I'm a moron, that I'm an idiot, that I'm a loser, that I stink so bad. And a lot of us, we're walking around with this ego that we're so scared to get hurt. And one thing that I learned about Tony Robbins at the Date with Destiny event, and over the next couple weeks and months, I'll be sharing little tidbits and tips that I learned, is that the quality of our life is in direct correlation to how much uncertainty we can deal with, right? Uncertainty. An example of that might be you're 100 pounds overweight and you're gonna start going to the gym, you're gonna start following a diet, you're gonna start working out, but you're so uncertain because you've never done this before, if you failed in the past, you don't know if you're gonna be able to make it, that's uncertainty. Starting to dance salsa, that's uncertainty. You know, especially if you're like me in the past, I used to quit everything that I would start, right? I've got a video coming out soon, and I'm not sure when this video is gonna post, but it's a video talking about the Rake and Profit before Rake and Profit. I used to be a completely different person. Locked up in jail, smoking weed. I was 60, 70 pounds overweight. I was $23,000 in debt. And anything I would start, I would quit. Any new venture, any new business, anything I started, I would just quit and I would give up. And it's hard sometimes to deal with uncertainty when you were a quitter like myself. You know, over time I've learned that sticking with things and sucking at first, and starting a business when you're broke, and going to the gym when you're overweight, and learning salsa when you feel like you got two left feet. Having that courage and that bravery, you gotta pat yourself on the back, because that's how champions are born, right? That's how growth begins. That's the seed. That's the beginning of success. And anyone that you know right now who is fit and healthy, or financially abundant, or really happy, or an amazing relationship, they started from zero. They started from square one, right where you are today. So never be ashamed if you suck at something. Start soaking up those weaknesses and those insecurities. And that's one thing I'm doing on Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go over and follow me at Rake and Profit, because I'm showcasing lots of losses, lots of challenges that I'm dealing with. And unfortunately, a lot of people follow me and they see 138,000 subs and they see this journey I've been on and they think that I'm amazing in all areas of life, and that's farthest from the truth. I'm struggling, I'm dealing with challenges, ups and downs, peaks and valleys all the time, and I wanna share that because that vulnerability is where we all need to start. A lot of times we feel like quitting and giving up, and we feel overwhelmed because we have too much on our plate. There's a really good book I recommend, it's called The One Thing. I forget who the author is, but a lot of times in life, we're focusing our energy on too many different things, and a lot of times what happens is we never really get good at something. We never put the energy into that thing, because to get a, you know, for example, to use a metaphor, to have a plant to grow, right? You gotta plant the seed, you gotta water it, you gotta spend time on it, you gotta nurture it, you gotta pull out the weeds. You gotta spend that time and energy on that plant, on that tree, or on that vegetable, whatever it is you're growing as this metaphor. If you neglect it, it's never gonna grow, it's gonna die. So sometimes you gotta take a look at your business. Maybe you feel like giving up on your eBay business. You're gonna say, all right, well, maybe I'm not having success because I'm focusing on Poshmark and eBay and Amazon and Mercari and Facebook Marketplace. And what if I just cut out a couple things, right? You ever heard of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule? A lot of times 20% of your actions are going to equate to 80% of your results. Look at your business right now and ask yourself, what are the 100% of the things I'm doing? What are the 10 things I'm doing right now? And what are the 1 to 2 to 3 that are producing the most results? So in my business right now, I could already think of 10 things I'm doing and about 6 that I should probably drop. So yesterday I actually dropped a couple of projects that I was working on. They did align with my goals, they did align with my vision, but they were bringing on too much stress at this moment, considering what I'm doing, and I'm moving and I'm taking on these big fitness and health and salsa goals and all these different things. So you gotta ask yourself, what are some things that I can drop? Prioritize your actions, prioritize your business. Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, very, very important. A lot of times we want to quit, we want to give up, we're overwhelmed because we're taking on too much and we're doing things that aren't producing the results that we want, okay? So quit things that don't matter. Quit things that don't matter. Anyways, there's coaches, there's mentors online. Add value in Facebook groups, in the YouTube comments. Build relationships with people because you can actually build yourself a little private mastermind, right? So imagine having a mastermind of people that you trust, that you like, who are aligned with the same goals and your vision. And when you hit these hiccups, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up, you have your weekly mastermind group and you bring to the attention of the group that, hey, I feel like quitting. This is what I'm going through. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't know how to manage my employees. They're not showing up for work. I'm having a hard time getting more products. You bring that to the mastermind and then you brainstorm it with people, right? You brainstorm it with people who are on your same frequency or even on another level than you, and you start to focus on, and this is what I want to transition into now, focus on the solution. So many times we feel like quitting and giving up because we're focusing on the problem. One of the things I want to talk about is opening up your heart, opening up your life in order to receive. Many times in life, we want to take our business to the next level. We want to go from our current income, maybe that's $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month. We want to double it. We want to triple it. Maybe we want to fall in love, attract the soulmate of our life into our life. Maybe we want to travel the world and experience some of the most amazing things that we know we deserve. But there's one problem that we face, and this is something that I've been challenged with. Our heart is closed off. What do I mean by that? We've closed off the ability to receive, whether that's income, love, opportunity, fun, or growth, because we're settling for something. We're taking the easy way out because we want to avoid feeling lonely. We want to make sure that we feel secure. We don't want to take a risk. We're scared of getting hurt. We're terrified of the fear of rejection, right? The fear of failure, the fear of disappointment. And one of the big distinctions that I learned from this date with Destiny and from networking and interacting with some amazing people. I want to shout out Anna from the Ukraine. I want to shout out my buddy Philip from Germany. One of the things that I learned is you've got to open up your heart. Sometimes you've got to let go of things in order for beautiful opportunities to come into your life. You might be in a relationship right now, and this is something that I've been dealing with. Over the last couple of years, I've settled for relationships. I've invited people into my life who were great, amazing people, but they just weren't right for me. And I invited these people into my life because I didn't want to be alone, because I was depressed, because I wasn't confident, because I was scared. I was scared to receive the love that I deserve. Over the last couple of years, there's been business opportunities. There's been things that I've invited in my life that I've spent so much time and energy on that I wasn't passionate about, that I didn't really care about. And when you do things like that, when you just allow anything to come into your life and you say yes, yes, yes to anything without really thinking about your values and what you enjoy and what you love and what you really want, sometimes it closes you off from receiving the greatness that you deserve. Now, I know I'm preaching right now, I'm getting deep and emotional, but this is something that really struck me. You've got to raise your standards. Sometimes you've got to allow yourself to feel lonely. Sometimes you've got to allow yourself to be broke and not be making a ton of money, and to be working and grinding towards what you truly want, having faith and knowing that that amazing opportunity is going to be coming right around the corner. That beautiful man or woman that you've always wanted in your life is right around the corner. Open up your heart to love. Open up your heart to opportunity. Open up your heart to growth. Open up your heart to happiness. Sometimes you've got to allow yourself to feel temporary defeat in order to really reach your full potentials.